Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Macro Monday, blue chip long levels. Let's get stuck straight into it. Today we are going to go over obviously the crypto market, the stock market, the dollar and whatnot. So we're going to look at the weekly time frames. We're going to zoom out a little bit and see what's all going on. Are we just going to rip up from here, or are we going to go a little bit sideways? In my opinion, we are going to go a little bit sideways. I'll tell you that right now. So Bitcoin obviously still looking good over here. We're still in our long position from 81,600, and it is looking good over here, guys. We did have the break of structure. We have had the big move up, and Bitcoin still bullish above 92K, guys. We have been saying this for a while now. It is the 50% level. As soon as you got above there, cool, we're bullish above 92K. So any price action that comes into 92K, or even that comes underneath and grab the liquidity underneath these wicks, in my opinion, game on. And just looking at the stochastic RSI here, we're obviously falling down now. We normally range between the top and the bottom, and this is where your big moves take place. So we saw the RSI come up to the top, big move took place. And now when the RSI is falling down, what you can expect is price action to either come down a bit, like a retracement, or go sideways, okay? So what we can expect until this RSI resets and breaks back to the upside is we're either going to go sideways or slightly down, okay? Not the end of the world. We're still comfortably in this long over here. We're going to go over the key levels for Bitcoin as well, because there are some very obvious levels, especially on the 4-hour time frame. So for now, Bitcoin looking really good. And what I've got here is this level over here, which I think is very key. So there's this key level over here. If we do lose that 92K region, I've got this key level here coming in at 89K. So if we lose 92K, 89K is where I will be buying Bitcoin and adding to my long position from there. Obviously doubling down, something like that, getting an average position around there. That would be a good play on Bitcoin. So this zone over here, 89K. So this is where the break of structure high was. So creating a higher low above the zone over here makes perfect sense. Higher low over here. Let's make that yellow for you guys. Higher low over there. Bang. This makes perfect sense. And I think this is very, very likely, guys. So we got the higher low coming in the zone over here. Why I think this is a good zone is because obviously these old tops turning into new bottoms. This was the break of structure. So we're most likely going to retest this as support. It lines up nicely with the 50-day EMA over here, and it also lines up perfectly with the 382. So the 382 is very important. So obviously the 50% level tells you whether you're in the stronger or weaker half. Now the 382 is important to watch, because if we get a bounce off the 0.382%, that means we're in a strong trending move, okay? So if Bitcoin comes down to the 382 and it bottoms at the 382, it means that it's in a strong move. So if you see a move down to 89K and an automatic reclaim of 92K, you can expect that this is going to go up, and we are in a strong move, okay? Very obvious on the 4-hour time frame. So Bitcoin has actually broken down this key uptrend over here. This is the break of structure high that we spoke about right over here. I'm going to just line that up for you guys. Break of structure. You can see that obviously there. I'm going to get rid of that now. And if we look very carefully on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we do have a massive fair value gap here, okay? Fair value gap up there. We traded most of the week here. This looks a little bit distributive now. We have lost the 4-hour 50 EMA over there, and you can expect to move into the zone over here, guys. Definitely you can expect to move into the zone over here. Does that mean we're closing longs? Definitely not. Bitcoin is still bullish above 92K, which I have explained, and 92K is going to be a massive support in my opinion. But if we do break that zone down, the 92K, then I am seeing a move into the zone over here. So guys, lots happening at the moment. 92K is very crucial, and I do expect it to hold out. But if we do lose that 92K level, this fair value gap lining up with the 0.382, it's too classic, guys. It looks too good. It looks too obvious. So basically, fair value gap, 382, and old highs. So this is the zone over here. Definitely keep an eye on the zone. I'll probably put some limit longs. I think if we do come here, we'll get a strong bounce out of that zone over there. But we have lost the bullish uptrend. You can see that, guys. The bullish uptrend has been lost. So what you can expect now is a sideways grind, and we spoke about that earlier with the stochastic coming down. So I would expect sideways or down. So I don't think we're going to get a massive move up to 100, 110K now. But I wouldn't close any longs. Definitely wouldn't close any longs. So that's my take on Bitcoin at the moment. You know, it's still looking good in my opinion. Still bullish above 92K. 89K is a great, great, great level to buy Bitcoin, and 86K, in my opinion, is worst case scenario. I think we'll get a strong bounce out of that zone. So look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Still looking good here, guys. We have reclaimed that key level over there. We have reclaimed lots of key levels. So there's a key level over here. If we take this old high to this high over here, you can see that we got nice support over there. So that was like a double confluence zone. And if you take this high to that high over there, this looks like a deviation, guys. So resistance, resistance, we broke through. Now we deviated underneath, got good support over here. Now we are trading above that level. So if we can hold this 92K, 89K worst case scenario, this is looking really, really good for continuation. Obviously, the weekly stochastic RSI is looking really good. And we're going to have a look at the weekly stochastic RSI quickly, because every time it has gone into a white tile, it's been a great buying opportunity, guys, or if it's flipped. Okay, so here you can see it flipped over, good buying opportunity. Obviously, the bottom was tough to tell there, but again, good buying opportunity, great buying opportunity in hindsight, of course. Over here, great buying opportunity. That would have been basically buying at a perfect level before we broke up. And you can see we had a few multiple candles here with some white. But this looks very strong histograms over here. If you guys know the MACD, this is looking really strong. It would have called the top over here nicely and would have called the bottom here perfectly. So the MACD is looking really, really good in my opinion, and we can expect continuation over here, guys. Very, very, very strong. So the weekly's looking great. No complaints in the weekly. If we hold the 92K level, 89, 92K region, it is looking very, very, very good for Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Long and strong over there. Let's get into the dollar and whatnot. So the dollar obviously topped out. We came to the range low. We have swept the range low. We are currently trading at levels last seen in April 2022. That was around the bear market. So what you can expect now is for maybe a move up. This is still the LARP lines that we have left here. We can maybe see a move up, maybe get rejected off these EMAs over here, maybe come to the underside of this resistance, but basically move to the downside. And the dollar moving to the downside will mean that everything priced against the dollar should go up, or it should provide a tailwind for risk-on assets such as cryptocurrencies. So a macro breakdown of the dollar is a good sign for the crypto market, guys. So obviously the crypto market, the crypto market and the traditional market is having a bit of a pullback today. You can see the S&P 500 down 0.7% today. Let's let that load up quickly. This is the futures down a bit today. Obviously very strong green day over there. And now we are looking to flip these EMAs back into bullish zone over there. So fighting with the EMAs, we can expect, choppy price action here, but this does look good, guys. We have reclaimed the key levels. If I put on the Fibonacci for the S&P 500 futures from the all-time highs over there to the low over there, you can see that we have reclaimed the 50%, which means that we are in the stronger half. So any moves that come down to 5,500 should provide good buying opportunities, guys. Should provide great buying opportunities. And I would expect that, does line up looking, if you look left, that level does line up with these lows and highs and massively respected area there. Also coming in, sorry guys, this connection, terrible. There we go. The gap as well, all lining up there. So 5,500, great buying opportunity in my opinion for the S&P 500 if the market does allow us to visit that zone. NASDAQ as well, great, reclaiming the 20,000 region over there. Also above the 50% levels and above the important EMAs, looking to flip that into support. So guys, nothing bad with the stock markets. Of course, I think they're looking really good. Last week was obviously a good buying opportunity. MicroStrategy also looking pretty good. We obviously had that breakout, and I said, guys, watch out. Last time MicroStrategy broke out, next came Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy has broken out, obviously hasn't broken to all-time highs, but it is getting close, guys. We are getting rejected from that 50% level over here. You can see this 50% level from the all-time high to the recent lows now. That 50% level comes in at 3,087. And you can obviously expect a rejection when coming into the zone, guys. If you come into the 50% level from the upside, expect rejection. And if you come to the 50% level as support, expect support to hold there. So definitely this is a zone where you would see a rejection. But if you can see the S&P 500, I mean, the MicroStrategy close above that 387, so many numbers. Expect that we are going to see higher levels, guys. We are going to see higher levels. So this breakout is looking good for Bitcoin as well. You know, if you look at the rest of the stock market, not looking too bad. And Apple not looking the best. But we have seen other stocks looking okay, guys. Let's go into the USDT dominance over here. So obviously holding that important support over there. We spoke about the supports for a while. Of course, we're looking for a potential breakdown of the support. So this is USDT dominance, guys. The 50% level from the basically the highs of the crypto to the recent lows. Obviously, this is all inversely correlated. That comes in at 4.96%. And you can see we tested that perfectly as support over here. So that lined up with the 200-day EMA. This was a massive, massive, massive confluence and a very high probability of finding support over here. So we did speak about this, but we did also speak about USDC dominance finding a potential top here. So this has lost key levels. And what I am seeing here is most likely a move into this 50-day EMA before getting rejected here. So this is what I'm looking at for USDC dominance. Remember, USDC dominance did call the market top before USDT dominance. So very, very, very important to watch this chart, USDC dominance. I think it's front-running market, in my opinion. So what I'm seeing here is a rejection from the zone here, maybe a little false move Monday today, false move Monday, massive news events this week, which we are going to go into, of course. So a little false move Monday. Everyone's selling off. Everyone's scared of, federal funds rates and whatnot. Little false move Monday into the 50-day EMA and then seeing a rejection. You have to treat the 50-day EMA as resistance when it is above. Okay, so here we reclaim the 50-day EMA. Okay, this told us, okay, guys, slow down on the buying of crypto. We might see a pullback or sideways. Okay, then obviously we had that breakout as well. So over here, what you can see, we did break the momentum line. RSI is in the bearish control zone. This is bearish, of course, bullish for crypto. Big loss of that level, tested it as resistance. So we have to treat this as resistance, guys. So I am seeing a move to the downside here. That's why I'm bullish on crypto. Of course, USDT dominance, of course, painting a different kind of picture here. We might see this rejection, of course, from the 50-day EMA. But the thing is with USDT dominance is that it is at support here. USDC dominance, no support over here. So we are expecting a move down to here. I personally think there will be a local top in when we do see this level, guys. I can see a push up, maybe federal funds rates bullish, this week's bullish, blah, blah, blah. Nice little top here for the crypto market, sideways movement. And then I do see a move down here towards the later half of the year. But let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. Those are basically the ideas for now. I don't think much is going to happen Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think the market move will come on Wednesday. This is normally what happens in the week, guys, is that the market just goes sideways until the news event. Everyone not sure what's going on. So we're not going to go into too much depth because everything will change when we do get that federal funds rate, guys. So I'm expecting a choppy sideways market. And if you are looking to range trade this market for Bitcoin, I would go on the 4-hour time frame, and you can mark off your key levels, of course. So all-time high. can just mark off the key levels. So I would expect a range trading zone to form over here. This is a good range trading zone over there. And if we do lose this level, then you can range trade from 89K, probably get a bounce there as well. But I think, guys, massive swing trading opportunity over here. If Bitcoin does come down, we'll be buying this level, of course, 92K, high probability zone. But if we lose this level, test it as resistance, then we're going to be longing this zone over here. As soon as we come into the zone and reclaim 92K, the low is most likely in. So basically, price comes down here, comes up, reclaims, tested as support. This will be your major buying opportunity, guys. That over there, stops will just go below that recent low created over there. And then we'll obviously be targeting this level, 103K and 110K. So this is the kind of trading plan. So we're just gonna have to wait for it to all play out. Basically, Bitcoin come into the fair value gap, 200-day EMA in the 4-hour time frame. That should create the low. We're not going to blindly long this, of course, because we could come down to the 50% level. But as soon as we come into there, bounce off the bullish 382 over there, reclaim the 92K, and I think there is a really good trading opportunity on our hands, guys. Really good trading opportunity. So most likely not much going to happen until this all happens. Of course, FOMC statement will be the catalyst. The federal funds rate, you know, who knows what it'll be. But one thing I want to speak about, guys, is the volume at the moment, guys. The volume at the moment is not great. Okay, so we've obviously had a big downtrend in volume. So big volume in November, December. This was obviously a precursor to a potential market top over there. And you can see volume just kind of tapering off here. So, you know, if we look at year to date, sorry, let's just zoom out there. What you can see is there's often periods of sideways with very minimal volume. Something like that, very sideways, and then big volume. So these sideways periods are normally accumulation, and the big ones are normally distribution. So hopefully we don't see too much sideways with low volume. We do want to see an uptick in volume. An uptick in volume will be a big green flag. It'll be, there's obviously more players in the space than the previous month, meaning a uptrend in volume, which means there's more people trading, etc., etc., etc. So we do want to see May providing more volume than April. Okay, April was obviously less than March. You can have a look at this. This is called the block.co. And this was a total of 1.28 trillion. So we basically want our volume to be above that, and that will be a nice green flag for the crypto market. But getting into some buy setups, I'm going to go over some of the blue chips, guys. So Bitcoin, we've covered intensely. We said between 92K and 89K, great zone to be buying Bitcoin. Solana, I think we did unfortunately get stopped out of our trade at break even over here. It's very volatile, but your buy zone for Solana simply would be this. Okay, we've had our break of structure, so we're in a bull trend, of course. Sorry, that was the wrong one. There we go. So from top to bottom over there, boom. Let's put on the 382 as well, because we could be in that strong trending move. Bang. Okay, so this is where really good chance, you know, this zone over here for Solana, obviously another retest of this de-sloping trend line over here. So we could come into the zone over here for Solana. Of course, we could come down to this 134 zone over there, and that lines up quite nicely with these old lows. So these old lows, we could come down there again and test that as support. The ultimate buy for Solana would be the zone over here, bang, 127. If Solana comes down to 127, it's looking really good. $127. So what you'd want to see would be a nice move down to 127, bang, reclaim like that, and then this will be your buy zone. Stops over there, obviously targeting that $180. So I did get stopped out of this at break even. It's flirting around now, but I'd rather be taking the trade. After the federal funds rate. Okay, we obviously had a nice big wick over here. a good strategy would be, okay, well, you've seen a big wick to the upside. What is the 50% of that wick? Well, the 50% of the wick would have been 143, which we did tag today. So if you are trading 50% wicks, this would be a nice buy zone for Solana, of course. But if we come down and wick below the 50-day EMA, great, long setup. Ethereum, so Ethereum not looking too bad either. I do like this big green candle, of course. But we could also see a nice liquidity sweep over here. I think these old tops over here would provide a nice buying opportunity. So you can mark this level off on your chart. I think this would be a good buy. And what you would do is you would be longing this over here with your stop below over there. I think most people would have their stop over there. So you can be a little bit more conservative with a stop over there. Then obviously targeting 2,100 as your TP1. 2,150 doesn't provide the greatest risk to reward, but I think scaling in on spot or like 2-3x leverage, waiting for that move back to the $4,000 range high is most likely on. But also know, guys, very easily can come into the zone over here. Not many Ethereums were traded in the zone, meaning that this does provide a gap in the markets. Okay, fair value gap over there. Basically, no one was able to buy between 1,722 to 1,690. So this zone over here, we could see a strong bounce out of there. This would make a lot of sense as well. So definitely save some spare change for a long in these zones, of course. Getting on to Ripple looking good. If we can get another bounce off the 200-day EMA, this would be great buying opportunity. You can obviously, there would be a lot of stop losses over here, guys. So if you are looking to get into an XRP long, this would be your zone, of course. You could go long on XRP in this zone over there. We said a lot of stop losses and the 200-day EMA. Go long over there. Boom. Stop would go over there because we are conservative, and then we are targeting all-time high as TP1. So this is a great trade for XRP. I would mark this one off on your charts. Bang. If we do get this order filled, this will be looking quite good. Basically, everyone who went long over here would have their stops over there. So most likely going to get taken out. Does, of course, line up with the 200-day EMA. So this is a great buying opportunity, guys. I would mark that off. $2, I would say there. Bang. $2.03. Mark that off on your charts, guys. Looking really good for XRP. And then obviously we are targeting all-time highs, guys. If you're not targeting all-time highs on your token, it's not really a good token. Okay. ETH, we're not really targeting all-time highs. Solana, not really at the moment. A lot to get through. Bitcoin, we're targeting all-time highs. XRP, we're targeting all-time highs. A few others, we are targeting all-time highs in the long run. But those are the basic blue chips that we are looking at. I just want to remind you guys, there's no rush. Okay, there's no rush at the moment. We looked at this to play out. This is the break of structure. So this is the crypto market, total crypto market. And we said that what's most likely going to happen once we break the structure is get a nice move up to that 3.02 trillion over there, get a nice move up there and get rejected, and then come down to the break of structure. So this got front run a bit. We didn't come all the way there, but we did hit that nice even 3 trillion. So obviously nice even numbers. Whales are going to offload at the nice even $3 trillion, of course, which whale isn't. And then we got rejected right now. Now we're coming down into the break of structure, and it looks like we are going to get that golden cross, which is bullish, guys. If the 50 crosses above the 200, we spoke about this all last week. If the price will come into this, test it as support. This will most likely be the higher low. Nice little higher low over here. Boom. So what I would like to see actually is some sideways movement until federal funds rate. Federal funds rate comes out, the FOMC statement comes out, some terrible news. We get that sell-off, and then we hold this zone over here. If we hold the zone over here, I'd say worst case, we could come into the zone over here. If we hold the zone over here and then start pushing up, it's looking really bullish for crypto, and I'm going to be super excited. So that's kind of the game plan at the moment, guys. I'm not going to look at many other altcoins because we have to just wait for the federal funds, the FOMC statements, and I don't think it's even worth looking at cryptos or even the markets until Wednesday. That's kind of my advice. Of course, there will be some range trading opportunities, but we do focus on swing trading opportunities here. But for now, guys, obviously long and strong macro bulls, but definitely mark all those levels off on the chart that we spoke about, guys. But guys, have a good week further. We'll see you later this week, and cheers for now. Happy trading and stay safe out there.